Welcome guys to another tutorial. Now this one is for a player level system that I partially did on stream and I did not finish it on stream. I'm sorry for that, but I felt that it was better to be a YouTube archive, and you guys from the stream know that I archive it onto YouTube anyway and post videos, so it is kind of redundant to just do a stream and then post a stream. That's kind of not really productive, because if you come to stream, you get what you need. But we have a leveling system. Now, our leveling system has a nice little my level. It has the level that we're at, the required XP right here, and the level, the XP gained. So how much we have gained. And then the maximum level the player can actually be. Then we have this player, and we have a file path, okay, a folder path. And all this folder path thing is where we are going to stick our XML file in. Okay, this is the saving, the loading, and all kinds of stuff, which we do not save in this. I have a function for it, but we don't want players to save, so we're going to have to do some magic in the editor and get us something where we can generate this stuff. But generating it by hand is actually quite easy, and I will show you that because it's quite easy. We could take all these levels and go, well, we've got level 2 through 10. Guess what? We can delete these. Okay? Delete, blah, blah, blah. And now we have leveling 2. And all this is a text document. It's very easy to determine and do. If you wanted another level, all you have to do is go down to your keyboard, Control D, duplicate, and hit it. And you will get another file and another level. It will automatically do everything that's needed except the variables inside the script. So you can go Control D, Control D, Control D out to your heart's desire for levels. That is the reason why I put it in a folder, so it's not so cluttered up. Now you can edit the variables of experience required just by double clicking it and opening it. It will go right into Notepad or whatever your default text document editor is in your computer, and you can just keep going and going and going till you come out to 1,000. I mean, they're text documents, so they're like 1 kilobyte or 1 byte. It's not very, like, it's not very, and you can expand it so much anyway. So I would not worry about when it comes to memory for a text document, very, very small. I mean, you could probably, like, have 1,000 of them and it would only come out to like 1 megabyte, and that's 1,000 some files. Okay, very minimal and stuff. So we should go into the code editor. Okay, get into some code. Now I will flip this over to you, and it's not showing up properly. That is just typical. So we have our player level manager in a variable my level, and in start we add some XP, gained XP plus equals. Now this will be the setter. It will get a variable. If you wanted to make a get variable where you're getting the value of my level dot gain XP, all you'd have to do is that's it. Get rid of the thing and just make it equal, and that would be your getter. Very simple, very easy. So put that there, and that would be it for that. Now in our player manager script, this is actually quite complex. It's not a mono behavior. It's a regular C# pure class. Now in this class, I have it serializable so that we can see it in the inspector That's what this serialization is for, system.serializable. So we can see it in the inspector. If we did not have this, it would not show it, which is bad for debugging and stuff. You know, later on, I think the Unity, when you build it out, it automatically strips this kind of stuff out. That in serializable field, I think it strips it too. But anyway, we have our public integer, that's an int. And then we have a private variable that we do serializable field so we can see it and set it in the inspector. Now, I defaulted it to 100 because we do not have a file for level 1. I thought it was redundant, so it just skips it and does the default values. XP gained, well, it's the same way, 0 for default value, and there you go. Maximum level, same thing, integer. Now, for this get and set here, this is not an auto property, but it is a property. And what this is it points to a direct value that's in here. See gained XP? Then our property is a capital, completely different variable. So, see the difference? And this is for a property. And what this property does is it returns the value. See, when we do the get, it will return gained XP. Okay? So, what's set do? Well, set, if we're not at maximum level, we use the value that it's passed in. Well, our variable gained plus equals the value that's passed. So it just keeps adding to our variable. Very simple. Then you're like, well, if this is a property, why do you have a method in here? And it's very, very important and a very good question. I have a method in here because this is the great thing about properties like this. I can have this do a check and have it do this. Every time it's set, it will run this property. So if my level is not the maximum level, but one below it, it will run this function, which is XP gained is if it's greater or equal to XP required to level, then it zeroes out my XP gain because I leveled and adds a level. Well, then you see that's XP required equals float player and this thing right here, which requires a integer. Well, yeah, this is an integer, and this is the type. This is like typecasting. Whatever this returns, because this is a return type, it will be a float. So basically you're flagging it. It has to be a float. So let's see what this Unity system actually is. Unity system is a XML reader, basically. And what this does is there's a public string for file pathing, which I showed you in the inspector. There's a serializer, which in the start of the initialization, when everything's being loaded, it loads a new serializer type of player level data, which player level data is a data class, just like a lot of other things. All it does is get current level, which we don't use, but I just wanted to show you. You can put a lot more into this. You can put all this in it and stuff, but we will go over that at the very end of the video. We just want this experience requirement, the experience out of this. So we have a file stream, which I didn't want to keep making things, just keep creating it and destroying it and hitting the garbage collector and stuff. So I made a permanent variable of it because, I mean, you don't want to keep going file stream, file stream, file stream, file stream. It seemed a little redundant to me. So I did that instead. Now we have a data container, which is player level data, and we call it data. And we have methods in here. Now this is a public float. This is not a public void. It's a float. So anytime you do this with a public float, you have to return a float no matter what. In all your code paths, you have to return a float. And we have a integer overload. So, and in the next line, we go, if file exists, application.load, application.stream and assets, okay, plus the file path, which this is a string, which is open in the inspector, and then plus player level. So this is a folder, and then we're going in, and this is the thing we're opening, leveling, but we're adding an integer on the end of it. So that's why you see leveling 1, leveling 2, leveling 3. And I did it that way so we can copy, we can get this control D and make duplicate and get another level, and it will keep increasing it and doing what we need to do. And then plus, I gave it a file extension, .txt. The reason why I did that instead of XML is so our computer will directly just open it in text editor. It doesn't care what the file extension is, the serializer. You could put .foo.2, .3, whatever. You know, you could put .file if it will let you, and it doesn't care. The serializer, the XML serializer, it only cares that it's an XML format because that's the methods and stuff that it's using. So if it's true, okay, then it does this stuff. Okay, and we do file equals file.open application, and in this one we do file.open because we need to open the file from the string path. And then we go data equals player level data dot sr, which is the serializer, and we want to pull information out. So we're deserializing the file in itself. Okay, we're telling it, hey, pull the data out of this file, and then go file.close because we already have the data. So in our return function, when all these conditions are met, we do data.experience. And this is a float. So we're returning, and the rest of this code does not do anything. Okay? But I put an else if in here, and if the file is actually false, which this should never execute any of this right here, but if it does, it'll give you a debug message. It'll do application.quit, which doesn't work in the editor, and then it returns 0. Okay? It will always return 0 by default. It doesn't even matter. Now, this method right here is our save method, saving of a file. If we wanted to go and just click a button and create it in the inspector or something like that, this doesn't do anything by itself right now. We're not calling it anywhere or anything. I actually am going to probably make an editor just specifically for this. Okay, so this code right here is pretty much the same. We're throwing the variables in and closing. Okay, so to get to our that is that, and we talked about that, and we've talked about this. So let's talk about something a little different then. See this class right here, for it to serialize a different thing, like something that has a lot more variables in it, you have to do a class, okay? And we could do this make XML weapon here, okay? And I do an example of this because it would be really nice to actually make it serialize more stuff. And you're like, how do I do that using this method? You'd have to change your type of, paste that in there, okay? You would have to change your data class. That's your data class. You'd have to change this to this. And then your return types would have to be this. And you'd have to make your own extension, the file path extension, you know, change your file name and everything. But change the data right here, okay? And those are all that stuff. Changing that, returning, okay? And we will be returning this path, returning. Why isn't it? Why does it give me red stuff? Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Return that. Return new serializer. That's cool. Okay. Return this. Deserialize. Oh, return data. That's what we will return. Because this is the container, so you're returning this. And if it's not existent, you would just return a new one. Okay? So this would give you out of your extension that. So let's not worry about that one because it's not worth it. We'll do that. So in our manager thing where we do this, we are gaining values and stuff. So the required XP, like let's say the required XP that's going there, it's not going to be a float anymore. It's going to be class, okay? And that wouldn't be exactly correct, so you'll do that. And required XP down here where it says the type of, you would do that, okay? And you know, I mean, I could go through it all and everything else, but when you go to load up the data, instead of getting a small XML document, like let's say this, like this, that has values, you would get one that has tons of values. Everything from our scriptable class over here, you would get the values from it, which I will close back up to. Where's our virtual studio? Boom. Okay, everything that's in this make thing, that would be in our XML documents. Every string, every float, it'll just be a longer XML document, which we're not doing an XML document, but we're using a file extension of TXT, just so it would open up and like you don't have to open it up in File Explorer and then open with text editor, because it's annoying. It was annoying for me, and it was probably annoying for you, and it'll do all these. It'll do vector threes, floats. The only thing it doesn't do is a game object. So you'll be pretty cool with that. And that is how you would swap it over and do all that stuff. So now I've got all these console errors because of me changing stuff over and things. So now I've got to fix all of them. But you know, I just wanted to show you guys you can pass more stuff into it, and it's very flexible. And you already have your player stuff where you already have player stuff where it will show you. I basically showed you guys how to get lots and lots of information out of it. So I think that would be perfectly fine for you and work quite decently. And data dot experience, and we will do it out of, what was the file extension thing? Player level data. Okay, we'll just copy this, go over here, player level data, and you know, like I said, what was that? Oh, stupid editor stuff. Whoa, what was? Where'd my code stuff go? Okay. Whoa. And you know, that's the whole thing. So I'm pretty sure you guys get the gist of it now. Whoa, what in the world is all that? Okay. And you know, we're going to do a lot more of it. Um don't be scared, you know, to mess with it and everything else, because it's just basically making files, and you know, it doesn't do any deletion or anything like that. So it's pretty easy to you know, modify and things. A lot of it's all basic mono and C# stuff, basic C# functionalities. But when you're doing XML, you have to have all these: engine, collection, system.xml, system.xml serialization, system.io, and system. Okay, it's very important. So that's pretty much it. I think I went through as much as possible when it comes to describing it. Now, if for happens that you don't understand it or whatnot, just leave comments and stuff so other people may be able to help you as well as me, because I don't know unless you speak. It's kind of one of those things. So, you know, do the YouTube stuff of like, hit, subscribe, you know, share. If you want to support the channel, you can become a Patreon or donate in various ways, or you know, there's a lot of things that you can do to help your community, or the community that I'm actually trying to build. So, and you know, I'll have this on YouTube, and it will probably be there for ever. So, you know, not unless YouTube closes and stuff. So that would suck. But yeah, I hopefully I will be on stream later on, and I'll have a link below for the streaming. If I'm on, I'm on. If not, I don't have a set time because I don't get much views. So if there was more viewers and we can kind of get the idea of when would be a good time for everyone. I know everyone can't get it there, but if I can make it to like if it's 2 Eastern every like Wednesday or Saturday, and then like a majority like can come and be like, yeah, cool, let's do some coding, and yeah. So, and this is one of my Patreon projects. If you are a Patreon, you will get this on a download, when everything's all cool and stuff. I haven't decided for code wise how to distribute it out to people. If, let's say, if I put it on a website and put it where you can buy it for $1, then if you think that was reasonable, then always comment, you know, because you can always shortcut and not write it all, or you can write it. Doesn't matter, because here's basically the code and explained. But any way to support the channel, please do. That way I can continue and make content for you guys, and you guys can learn and get smarter and all that stuff. But thank you very much, and I hope that this helps you. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. Hopefully later on I get some subjects that help you. But please let me know what you guys think, and I guess I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.